can I fear? How can I hide when Yahuwah's on my side? How can I flee when near me is Yahuwah my Elohim? How can they stop me loving your name, since I've heard it all has changed? How can they hold my lips to speak when Yahuwah's ruach's in me? I'll swim through the fire, I'll swim through the flames, and I'll keep fighting and praising your name. I'll march right into the jaws of death. I'll guard your name with my every breath. You are the lamp unto my feet. You are the light unto my path. Although I walk through the valley of darkness, your rod and staff, they comfort me. You've made me shelter with your hand. You've kept me safely in your wings. You've kissed my coldness and made it warm. You filled my cup over with love. You are the apple of my eye. Oh, how I love your marvelous light. How can I fear when you are here? I will only fear you. Fear Yahuwah, fear Yahuwah, Yahuwah. Fear Yahuwah, fear Yahuwah, Yahuwah.
All right, praise Yah. That's a beautiful song by Treasure. Let's see, Treasure of Yahuwah. They have a YouTube channel. Welcome to tonight's Apothecary Webinar, subtitled "What's in Your Wellness Cabinet?" Many of us have been long awaiting this knowledge sharing webinar. It's going to be a little different tonight. We're not going to actually have panelists. It's going to be group participatory for those who would like to participate. And so before we open in prayer, I'm just going to go over what to expect for tonight. So we're going to talk about what that word means, apothecary, a little bit of history about it, how we're going to do tonight. And then we're going to start our rounds of shares. And depending on the time, we're going to go up to 3 rounds, and then we'll close out. And Yah willing, we'll do this again. So hopefully we'll have some fun and learning from one another, what works in different people's families as it pertains to things you use to stay well. So things that Yah put here on this earth for us. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open with a word of prayer at this time.
The prayer warrior is on his way.
Praise Yah. Good evening, ladies. Ms. Parker. Most holy Heavenly Father, Yahuwah, Elohim, thank you for your mercy and your grace. Thank you for gathering us together, Father, and for being in our presence here. Thank you for your word, 1 Corinthians 6:19. Your word says, what? Know ye not that your body is the temple, the Holy Ghost, the Ruach, which is in you, which ye have of Elohim, you're not your own. Thank you, Father, for letting us know that taking care of our bodies and living in search of wellness is a righteous thing. It's pleasant before you, Father. So we pray that you would lead and guide us by your Ruach to be edified by what we hear tonight. Thank you for dedication and commitment, all the presenters, that you would bring back to the remembrance all that they've studied on this, and that we would be truly edified at the end by this presentation, and that you would be pleased with all you hear us say and do. This we pray in the mighty name of your only begotten Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you, Brother Vic. And I like the scripture that you cited. Do you not know that your body is a temple of Yah's Ruach, the Ruach HaKodesh? Praise Yah. And so we want to go over quickly the word apothecary. It's actually a fairly recent new word to myself. And so I thought it might be apt to kind of show the pronunciation and where this word derives from. It's actually from the Greek, and it means storehouse. And I even have a little pronunciation clip for us to hear how it's pronounced. So I'm going to just play that briefly.
Welcome back to our series of English pronunciation videos. Let's take a look at how to pronounce this word. It refers to a historical term for a person who prepares and sells medicines, similar to a pharmacist. It's pronounced apothecary. Here's how it breaks down. Like the A in sofa. Poth, like the poth in hypothesis. Like the A in sofa. Cur, like the care in careful. EE, like the Y in happy. Put it together. Apothecary.
Apothecary. So if everyone wants to unmute and try it, apothecary.
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 So I thought that would just be fun to, so what is it? What is that? And so just some quick notes. It's a keeper or a compounder of herbs, salves, tinctures, and ointments, often a small shop where such remedies were prepared and dispensed. In many older English Bibles, apothecary refers to the maker, compounder of ointments and perfumes. And we'll see that in a moment. Perfumes is what was used in the Bible. A craftsperson, not a modern institution. And for tonight, we're using apothecary in the traditional sense of, we just have things stored up that can be medicinal in nature to our own families. So, and I'm going to play just the first 2 minutes of this YouTuber. Her channel, I think, is called Becoming a Farm Girl.
Yep, I love her.
She's very animated. And she kind of, you might be inspired to start your own apothecary after listening. So again, I'm gonna just play the first 2 minutes.
Over-the-counter medicines promise quick fixes, but how many of us are wondering, what am I actually putting into my body? The mysterious ingredients, reoccurring side effects, and endless cost are enough to make anyone question, is there a better way? Well, I want you to imagine this. Instead of reaching for meds with side effects you don't understand, you turn to remedies you've made yourself, which are free of chemicals, packed with nutrients, and are actually designed to heal. And the best part is that transitioning to herbal remedies is easier and cheaper than you think. Plus, this gives you the option to replace dozens of over-the-counter medicines. You know, things like headache pills, skin cream, mouth care, and more can all be made with common kitchen ingredients and herbs. And oh, you also don't need a farm or fancy tools to begin. So if you're ready to begin your herbal journey, settle in, my friend, because in this video, I'm going to show you overlooked places where anyone, yes, anyone, can glean and forage for medicinal herbs, how to craft your own healing salves and tinctures with ease, and how to replace pricey body care products with clean, natural alternatives that you can make yourself. And for those of us with minimal space, I've got you covered with tips for a minimal setup, along with books and tools that truly give you the biggest impact. Because you don't need acres of land or even a full-time commitment to start your journey. An herbal apothecary isn't just for experts or enthusiasts. It's for anyone who wants to simplify, save money, and start working with their body, not against it. Instead of standing in the pharmacy line or scanning the grocery store shelves, I'll have you know that some of the best kept secrets to health are in plain sight. Yep, just waiting for you to notice. Yeah, foraging is not about going far or even being an expert. It's about learning to notice what's already around you and using the seasons as your guide. So let me show you what I mean. When I'm out foraging, one of the first plants I look for is plantain. No, not the banana, but the herbaceous powerhouse that grows practically everywhere. Fresh plantain loves to pop up in overlooked places, like right here next to the pavement on a walking trail tucked behind a residential neighborhood.
All right. And again, her channel is Becoming a Farm Girl, and she talks a lot about what's those things called? Green stalks. And you can get other kinds. But she talks a lot about that specific kind of, vertical garden. That's what it's called. Because you can literally grow your own herbs that go into your wellness cabinet, or right on your kitchen windowsill, like I do. So anyhow, I just thought I would share. She shares a lot of great information. And so apothecaries originated in ancient civilizations as healers of YAH, people who collected the things that YAH put here and prepared natural medicines from herbs, plants, and minerals. And they became distinct practitioners during medieval times, establishing guilds and shops where they practiced traditional healing arts. In colonial America, apothecaries served as essential community healers using nature's remedies to work with the body, YAH-given ability to restore itself. And this profession changed during the 18th and 19th centuries as synthetic medicines took over. And today's herbalists and natural healers carry on the original apothecary tradition of using YAH's natural provisions for healing. So, and praise YAH for that. And interesting to note, again, if you want to look into it further in your own time, this word perfumes, I should say perfumers, is mentioned in a few scriptures like Nehemiah 3:8, Ecclesiastes 10:1, and Exodus 30:25. And it mentions, the importance of these healing practices, of using YAH-given plants and spices like myrrh, frankincense, and cinnamon. And this was recognized as a sacred skill used even for preparing the set-apart oils in YAH service. So yeah, so it's very interesting to find that out. And so for tonight's purpose, I'm going to be using those words kind of interchangeably. And we just mean a cabinet where you hold this stuff, just practical household wisdom. And again, the knowledge sharing component. Praise Yah. So tonight's format, again, we have no panelists tonight. We are all the panelists. Those who desire to participate, you can also just observe. And we're going to do up to 3 rounds. And so you may have many things to share, but we ask that you only share one thing per round, up to 5 minutes. And you don't have to have slides or anything. You can just, it could just be open mic style is perfectly fine. And so we're asking you when it's your turn to share what it is and try to be clear what it is, speak it slow enough that people can understand so that, if they want to use what you're saying, you use that they can find it. You could share where you get it, the source, the store, the garden. How do you use it? What's the typical amount, the frequency, and what are the benefits you've noticed using it on yourself or your family? And also, as a bonus, if you want to share any safety notes, like, pregnancy, age, or medical interactions, if known. And I feel like I need to give a disclaimer. These are wonderful things we're going to be learning about, and it may work for other families, but make sure it's a good fit for you and your family, because we're all different, and we all are in different journeys in our health, and you want to make sure you're not, because believe it or not, even things that are good for the body in the wrong dosages, it can even be harmful. So we want to use wisdom. Again, keep your shares under 5 minutes. We'll try to use a timer if I can get it up. I forgot to get that up. 1 remedy per round. And again, we're sharing our personal experiences. We're not diagnosing or giving medical advice. No sales pitches for those that are going to share. Sharing a link is fine, but no like hard sales. And be kind, concise, and practical, because these are practical things that we want to share. And so how to take the mic, because again, it's going to be open mic. So we would like to spotlight you when it's your turn. And if you're sharing slides, there's a green button on the bottom, or you can send me the link, or some of you have already sent in your slides, and I'll be happy to share those. And then, 5 minutes, definitely wrap up, and we'll move on to the next person. Also, I felt it would be very remiss to not mention this. Today is a sad day for many who knew little brother Zah. We affectionately called him Zacchaeus. And this webinar is dedicated in his memory. And we, he brought forth a lot of light and joy to our community. And Abba called him home at age 5. But, his love and kindness lives on in our memories. And so in his honor, we're encouraging everyone to do an extra special deed of kindness this week. And that can include sharing natural healing with someone in your circle of influence. You can help a neighbor, or simply spread the joy that he so beautifully embodied. And to learn more about his very beautiful life, his family invites you to read the tribute in his that was written about him. And so his mom would like to share this link. It's at yahudahliving.com/Zah, and that's ZAH. And we'll put the link in the Zoom chat and the live chat on YouTube, if you want to pull that up. And there's also a beautiful video where people are sharing remarks about this wonderful little guy. So just wanted to give that tribute. And now we will start round one. So round one, I would like to open the question up for the open mic. What's that one item that's always in your wellness cabinet? What's that one item that's always in your wellness cabinet? And you can raise your hand to go, and I will spotlight you and you can share. And don't be shy. All right, Sister Jessica, are you ready to share one?
Yes. Now, are we actually just saying it now, or are we actually showing doing our
Yeah.
okay.
You can go ahead and share.
I wasn't going to go first because I didn't want to like set because I actually made slides, and I know I'm a little extra like that, but I didn't want to, I'm like, I'll let somebody else go first if they put their hand up, because I didn't want everybody to think they had to have something, but I do have some slides. But I mean, there's several things, but I put them in order of what I thought would be most important to share tonight, because the first two of the things I picked were actually life-saving remedies that could actually save a life. So I wanted to start with those one in case I didn't get to my third one. But my third one is actually the one that I've been using the longest, but we'll get to that if we get to that. But anyways, the first one is activated charcoal. And I don't know if many people are actually familiar with it. We can go ahead and go to the next slide. But this here, I had to do a slide mainly for this reason, because there is so many things that this simple remedy can help with. And I just pasted some of these from the website I'm going to share with you guys. But this is just some of the things. Like, I had to condense it to fit it on one slide. And it's just amazing, all the things. Like, I didn't know all this stuff when I was going to share about this. I wanted to look into it a little more, because mainly what I use it for personally in my home is like for like wounds, to help keep them from getting infected. I use it on my skin when my skin starts to get, I should probably use it more often than I do, but it is kind of messy and hard. It is kind of messy to clean up, but especially when you put it on big parts of your body. But anyways, so I probably should do it more than I do, but and then of course it's always good to have on hand for the for accidental poisoning and things like that, because I mean, if you go to the ER with a poisoning, that's usually what they do, is they pump your stomach with activated charcoal, because it flushes, it absorbs, which means it, like the poisons, it will bind to it, and then just flushes it out, because your body cannot digest charcoal. So it just goes through your system, attracts all the bad stuff that's in there, the bad bacteria. It does, and it doesn't hurt the good bacteria, unlike antibiotics and things like that. It just pulls out the stuff that's not supposed to be there and flushes it right through. So I just want to put this up there in case anybody wants to take a screenshot of it, and like I said, this is just a few of the things on there, but like spider bites, that's a big one, because I mean, I have a fear of spiders, I always have, and just knowing and having this on hand just kind of helps relieve that, because if I do get bit by a spider, I have something that will, take that poison right out without any issues. I mean, even like I put on there the brown recluse, because that's one of them, in our area, at least here in the U.S. I know not everybody's from the U.S., but that's like one of the big spiders that, can do the most damage. That and black widows are the, and so, yes, you can both. You can use it topically or ingest it. I'll go a little bit more into that. But I mean, just look at all these things. I mean, it's just amazing. And if you want to know about a specific thing, the website I'm going to share with you, it's just simple. It's just charcoal remedies, charcoalremedies.com. And you can go and just click on whatever, if you're having a problem with, an ear infection, just pull it up there and see what it says about that. But one of the biggest things is the gastrointestinal. I didn't put all the things on there, like Crohn's, diverticulosis, colitis, like there's so many, like pretty much anything that's gastrointestinal related can be helped with charcoal. And I didn't put all those on there because, like I said, I wouldn't have been able to fit all of them on this slide. I just narrowed it down because it also like says a lot of different kinds of poisoning. Anyways, yeah, there we go. And I'll link it too when I'm done here in the chat. Oh, she did. Thank you, June. But we can go ahead and go to the next slide too. But it's good for like, drawing anything you need to draw out or get out of your body is what you use it. This video I just want to show, it's just a really quick one. This is one of the ways that you can use the charcoal. This is the one I usually use. Of course, I don't always, I sometimes put it directly against my skin too, but we'll just watch this quick video. It just shows how simple it is to make this.
Started very easy. First, we're going to start with the water. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of water. So we're just going to put this in. And this is going to make a large poultice. So obviously, if you don't want so much jelly, just have the recipe. Okay, and then we're going to add the activated charcoal. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons. And then be sure you put your lid on nice and tight. Charcoal will last indefinitely. There's no expiration date, but just keep that lid on tight. And then we're just going to add some ground flaxseed. This is organic golden flax, but you can use whatever kind you want. Doesn't matter, it just needs to be ground. Okay. And then we're going to stir it. Okay. It's a little runny at first, but it'll thicken up quickly. Just be patient. The reason that we are adding ground flaxseed and not just mixing charcoal and water is because the ground flaxseed will keep the charcoal moist longer. When charcoal is wet, it has more drawing power, so if you do it right, the charcoal poultice will still be moist in the morning if you were to put this poultice on at night and go to bed. Okay, now we're just going to take it out, put it right in the middle of the paper towel, and just spread it out. It's going to be as thick as you want it to be. Basically, as far as I'm concerned, more is better. And we're going to get it off to the side there. Now we're going to do the north side, lay the north side down, the west, and the east, and then the south. Okay? And now we flip it over and you can see that the charcoal and the water is kind of seeping through a little bit. That's just exactly what we want. It's not dripping. Okay, we can hold it up and it's not dripping, but it's definitely moist. And now we're going to have Jenna come over here. And Jenna had a burn a couple of weeks ago, and this is what we did to help it. We just placed it right over her burn, just like that. And then we take a piece of plastic. Now I like to use plastic from a plastic bag just because it doesn't move around, doesn't stick to itself, but you can use whatever plastic you want. Just place it over it so it keeps it, helps keep it moist, keeps it in place, and doesn't get the cloth wrapping dirty. And then just wrap it. And that is all we do. Okay, and just fasten it. And now she can either go to bed with that on, or just go out and about and do some gardening or go to work, and she'll be just fine. How easy is that? Okay, that's it.
All right, and this is from that website where they also show how to make what's called a charcoal patch too, which is another way of just another method of putting it on, similar to this but a little bit different. But there's also other ways of doing it. When you ingest it, you can either take it, just put the charcoal right in the water, stir it up, and drink it like that. It is very gritty, and a lot of people don't like it, but I mean that's the most potent way to do it. But for like children, especially, just because they're not gonna, it'll be harder to get them to drink something that's unpleasant. What you do is you mix it up really good, and then you let it sit so that the charcoal settles to the bottom, and then the water that's in that separates from it, you pour that off, and you can either put it, like even a baby, you can put it in a bottle. Children, you can put it in a little cup, or even in like a bulb syringe and just squirt it in their mouth or something like that. That's one way to do it, especially with children. Or just, I mean, if it's not something serious, like if you go through the website with the different things, the issues, it'll tell you what it suggests, and the more potent, like if it's poison, like if you get poisoned or something on accident, you definitely want to take it full strength. Or they also have capsules that you can take too. Although with the poisoning, it would probably be better just because the capsule doesn't have to melt or dissolve. But there's the patches, the capsules, and really the only thing you cannot have too much charcoal, except for you want to make sure that you drink a lot of water, because it may bind you up if you're taking a lot of the charcoal and not helping to flush it out, because it is a powder. So you do want to make sure you drink plenty of water if you're taking it internally. But all right, we can go ahead and go to the next one. I think the next one is just my showing the website. Yeah, and when you go to this website, as soon as you go there, it prompts you if you want to download this ebook on the left there, where it says The Charcoal God's Humble Doctor. It's a free ebook, and it's basically like a too long didn't read TLDR version just to get you started up. It actually tells you how to make the charcoal in that book, and some of the basic ways of doing it, and some of the major things it can help you with. And then, of course, you would go to the website to look at each individual issue that it helps with. And the book down there at the bottom, that's actually how I learned about the website, is from the book, because I got recommended this book through the other books I'm going to mention later. But it's a nice handy book. It's not too big, so it's worth having, just in case you don't have access to the internet. All right, so that's all I have on charcoal. I don't know if anybody else wanted to talk about any of their experiences with it. Sorry, that was a little long.
Awesome. And we have some comments in the chat. Teresa says, thank you for sharing, Sister Jessica. And Aliyah says, thank you for sharing. I've been having some stomach issues, so I'll definitely check this out. Praise Yah.
Yeah.
And I've taken it internally before. I haven't taken it recently, but it's supposed to be good for detoxing. And so, yeah, it's.
Yeah. Actually, it even mentions like for people that are trying to get sober, like from like heroin and different opioids and stuff like that, because as you're detoxing, it's pulling out, it's helping to flush it out of your body. So, and also this is what I'm going to start doing is for inflammation. It says if you take it internally, it just helps with all kinds of inflammation too. So, and I mean, that's probably what, with all my skin things, I mean, I'm obviously inflamed. So that's another thing I'm going to start, doing myself too.
Could you really, really, really quickly talk about, so the kind I have comes from the coconut shell. So we're not talking about like the charcoal on the grill, like just grinding that up. Can you speak on that quickly?
Yeah. I also, the kind that I have right now is also the coconut. Basically you can get it from hardwoods and coconut shells. There's one other thing that it mentioned that they make a lot of it out of. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but you can use just like wood, like coals from a fire, like your wood stove. You obviously don't want to use just like the charcoal briskets because a lot of times they have like a lighter fluid and stuff, like they might have other chemicals in it. So I wouldn't just buy a pack of from Walmart for your grill and use that, unless it was an absolute emergency. Then it's probably better that but I would probably not do that unless it was like an absolute emergency. I was kind of telling you earlier about that website has so many testimonials about missionaries in other countries, and one of them was that they teach people in the other countries how to use the charcoal, because everybody they cook with charcoal anyway, so everybody has the wood in their stoves already anyways. And so they told them, showed them how to, because what you do, basically you have to either put it in boiling water or pour boiling water over the charcoal, let it air dry, and then just pound it up. That's all you have to do. And they were teaching people, and then the guy a week later was walking, walking, and a woman was screaming, and he went to help her, and she got bit by a poisonous snake, and in that area there wasn't no anti-venom, and basically if you got bit by the snake, you're a goner. And so he, picked her up and took her to the closest house and just asked them to take some wood from, charcoal from their stove, and right there he pounded it up, put it in, made a poultice, put it on her wound, wet it, and it saved her life. She was, she survived. They had to keep, applying it. You can read more about how they did it on there, but it's just amazing. And it's free. It's a free, anybody can get it. You can go get some wood and make some right now if it's just amazing that YAH-made something so simple that helps with so many things.
Yeah, that was a very long list. And Shimon in the comments made a great point. She says it will also take out any medication that you have taken.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. That is another thing I should have mentioned. You do have to wait. I think it's 2 to 2.5 hours before taking any medications. Before, if you're going to ingest it. I'm sorry, I didn't forget to mention that. That
would include like vitamins or things.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know. I would be like it says, it was weird because some drugs it helps with, like it was saying like antiviral drugs. It actually, they're doing studies because it actually makes antiviral drugs more effective of pulling out the viruses that they're intended for. Like the one that I was reading about in particular was the herpes virus. Whatever the drug for that is, it helps that drug. So it might not be like a blanket all drugs, all vitamins, but I would err on the side of caution because vitamins are expensive, and I would wait at least 2 hours between using that and any vitamins just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, so we're not doctors, so do your own research.
Full disclosure, I'm not a doctor. I'm just presenting some information.
Well, thank you. I think that's something that should be in everybody's wellness cabinet. It could definitely save a life, like you said.
Yeah, especially like I said, the bites, poisoning. Because I mean, like when I was little, my sister drank some bleach, and we had to take her to the emergency room. That's what they did for her, is the charcoal. So if we would have had it there, we wouldn't have had to go to the emergency room. Because that's all they do, is they just pump your stomach with charcoal.
All right, so I like that first item. Sister Deanna, are you being brave to share something? I see your hand is raised.
Yeah, I was like thinking we have stuff, so I thought I would share one thing. Yeah, we have stuff.
Okay.
So we well, first of all, we are actually doing charcoal we're doing a metals detox, and so praise God, Sister Jessica, we're actually doing it twice a day. For exactly that reason. Well, we're doing a bunch of stuff, but that's part of ours, so that's interesting. Oh, see, let me come over here. So hold on. Oh, you started my video. I was walking around. Sorry. I was getting to but I thought I would introduce cayenne pepper because maybe not everybody realizes that, but um cayenne pepper we keep them in capsules, and we keep the powder, and it's 90K. It's a high quality cayenne pepper, and I just jotted some things down that it's really good for. And then I have a personal testimony with it. It's good for detoxification, for your immune system, antioxidants. It has antioxidants in there. Helps control your blood sugar levels. It's an anti-inflammatory, helps with pain relief, helps in weight management, helps your heart health, digestive health, and brain health. And this is a fun testimony I never knew it could actually do this. I run, and I tripped, and it can actually help like healing, literally healing. Like instead of a Band-Aid, I was running, I completely skinned the skin off my knee, and I kept running just because I was like, I don't know, I wanted to go see my friends. And when I got there, my friend had a capsule, and she put it on my open wound, and of course it burned, but it like healed. Like by the end of the evening, it literally looked like it was like I didn't just do it. It wasn't the bruise was gone. It was like scabbed over. It looked like it was like 2 weeks old. So that's something that I don't know if everybody knows, that cayenne, and you can carry them in capsules. You can carry it with you if you ever need but you can also swallow them and take them. So we take that every day, multiple times a day, and we keep it with us. So that's all. Just want to share that.
Excellent. I love that share, cayenne pepper. I put a little in tea sometimes, but I didn't know it had all of those remedies, and I didn't know about the topical application. So that would be something to definitely have in your wellness cabinet for sure. And I love the idea too of having the capsules in your purse, and then you can just break them open as needed. So awesome. All right. So in this round one, we've heard charcoal, we've heard cayenne pepper. Who else is brave to share what's in your wellness cabinet? Something that helps you or your family that's a go-to in terms of wellness. All right, Sister Tatiana, shalom.
Shalom. I have a slide to share, and it's more than one ingredient, so you can stop me at any time if you want me to like pause to the next round. But
okay, excellent.
For my wellness item, it's a tea, and let me share. Okay. Okay, a traditional home remedy with Caribbean roots. So it's an onion, garlic, ginger tea, and the base ingredients are red onion, garlic, and ginger. And when you make it in your pot, make sure you keep the lid on so all the goodness stays in there, because it's going to steam up and you want to keep everything. So the benefits, so red onion, the darker pigment of the red onion indicates higher level of, let me minimize this, higher levels of antioxidants, best consumed raw, which help reduce inflammation and fight free radicals. It contains anti-cancer properties, supports heart health, controls blood sugar, it's antibacterial, and a good source of probiotics, and supports gut health. Garlic has been proven to lower blood sugar, improve LDL, bad cholesterol, and helps prevent arterial hardening and improve circulation of the heart. It's an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antibacterial, antiviral, and antimicrobial. It helps to flush toxins from the body, and it may reduce the risk of stomach and colon cancer. It also reduces fatigue. Ginger is a known digestive aid that relieves bloating, gas, and nausea. Who needs Pepto-Bismol? It's an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. It helps reduce muscle aches and supports joint health. It has antimicrobial properties to help fight bacteria and viruses. It also supports brain health and reducing age-related brain decline, and it improves memory. I've definitely used ginger with my pregnancies for nausea, and it helps. Or just like if you have nausea in the car, motion sickness, or anything like that. And then some optional additions. Lemon, it's rich in antioxidants and vitamin C to fight inflammation and oxidative stress. It helps repair skin and supports iron absorption. It aids in digestion and helps reduce bad breath. It is an acid, so be sure to rinse your teeth. The citric acid can help prevent kidney stones, which are calcium stones, and it supports the body's pH balance, so it helps to alkalize the body. Honey, which is gives a natural boost of energy and aids in digestion. It helps with ulcers, acid reflux, and general gut health. It is a natural antioxidant that can soothe a cough and a sore throat, and it also boosts your immunity. It also has antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties that heal wounds, like minor burns, cuts, and ulcers. And then cinnamon is packed with antioxidants and helps to reduce chronic inflammation linked to disease. It's antibacterial and antifungal. It is heart healthy. It reduces total cholesterol, LDL, which is bad cholesterol, and triglycerides, and it helps to maintain HDL, which is good cholesterol. And it may help to protect against cognitive decline, like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Cautions: always consult your doctor first, especially if you're taking medications for high blood pressure, cholesterol, if you're a diabetic, because too much red onion can cause gas or blood thinning. Too much garlic can also cause blood thinning and stomach upset. Too much ginger can lower your blood pressure or blood sugar. Lemon, like I said before, it's an acid, so it can erode your tooth enamel or cause acid reflux if you have too much. Honey is not safe for infants, and it is still a sugar, so you cannot just gulp down a bunch of honey. Cinnamon, too much cinnamon can cause risk to your liver and cause your blood sugar to drop. But with the right amount, it is very beneficial to those with diabetes, like type 2. Sometimes I add thyme, rosemary, lemongrass, or hibiscus, also known as Caribbean sorrel or Flor de Jamaica. And then you can also add a spicy pepper like cayenne pepper or Scotch bonnet pepper, any spicy pepper really. And then where can you find these ingredients? In your local grocery store, at the farm stand, at the farmer's market, or you may have them in your own garden. Or if you don't, start planting. And I think that is it. I did not put a recipe on there because that's not how I was taught to make it. My grandma would put like a medium to large size pot on the stove, and then she would chop up everything and put it in the bottom of the pot, fill it up with water, and then let it boil and let it steep. Oops, sorry. Go back to slide 6. Let's see. Share slide. Okay, this one. Is it showing slide 6?
It says anything else at the top.
Okay, yes, someone said to re-show that one.
Awesome. So how frequently does your family drink this tea? Or do you only take it when like you feel something coming on, or is it like routine maintenance?
So usually I'll make it when someone starts feeling off. So not just for cold and flu, but if, you start getting like a tickle in your throat, we definitely could use it as a routine maintenance. It's just that it's so hot here. I don't make that many teas, but I could ice it, really make it like an iced tea. And adding honey really does help because garlic, onion, and all that stuff doesn't taste that great mixed together. And your breath won't smell that great either, but it really helps. It really helps. And I have noticed it flushing things from my body when I'm sick. Like it'll definitely send you to the bathroom.
Awesome. And what was the name of this tea again?
Onion, garlic, ginger tea.
Onion, garlic, ginger tea.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you for so much for sharing that. I think that is definitely, each of those ingredients are so powerful on their own, to definitely have in our wellness cabinets. And I like the combo of drinking it as a a liquid form, if you will. And I like the tip you said about keeping the top on the pot so that nothing steams out, that all the goodness stays in there. So that's good too. And I like how you said, who needs Pepto-Bismol? Yes. Excellent. All right. So we've got charcoal, cayenne pepper, and then the ingredients for the tea, the onion, garlic, ginger tea, red onion. Awesome. Would anyone else like to share in round one? All right, Sister Shimon, you're up. Thank you, Sister Tatiana.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I didn't hear your message until right before I decided to get on because I hadn't registered and I couldn't get on. I had to go to your website to find the link. But I mean, everything that everyone is sharing, you know, you see like there's crossover ingredients: ginger, garlic, onions. There's honey. So when I listened, I was like, well, there's so much that I could share. But yeah, Tatiana, I will reluctantly try that tea because, like you said, your breath is going to be kind of stinky. Everything savory, I put garlic and onion. Anything that's savory that I'm cooking, I have garlic and onion in it. So I get plenty of garlic and onion. I love all of the alliums, the yellow onions, white onions, red onions, scallions, green onions. Yeah, I'm gonna have it in all the different garlics. But the one tea, and I was gonna make it, but I didn't feel like cutting up my ginger and turmeric, so I took the easy way out because I was having the little scratchy thing, throat, the back of my throat, and so I just grabbed my ginger and turmeric tea bags from Trader Joe's, and I have a bag of the Jamaica, the sorrel, the Jamaican sorrel. And I have one of those French presses. And instead of, having my pot and putting everything, I figured out to use my French press. And I just threw some, you know, just eyed it through some of my Jamaica in the bottom of my French press. Um, I'm I'm not a big fan of licorice, but I threw in some star anise in there. I tried it one time. I was like, oh, I like the way that tasted. Threw in 2 tea bags of the Trader Joe's ginger and turmeric, some black pepper to help with the activation of the turmeric, and I think that was it for tonight because I was feeling kind of like something's trying to attack my body the last couple of days. I'm like, oh yeah, we're not having that. But my really go-to, and that was quick and easy. I boiled the water and then just put it in my press, let it steep 5 to 10 minutes, and then put a little bit of agave syrup in the bottom of my cup, mix it up and drinking it, and you can drink it hot or cold. But my favorite is to, like your grandma, but when I do it, because I'm like, this is an investment, I get my biggest stock pot and I get a big old chunk of ginger, and I get several pieces of fresh turmeric, and I don't take the skin off. It just makes sure that they're cleaned well. If I can get it in organic, I get that. I slice them up in like 1/4 inch slices, throw in my ginger, throw in my turmeric, get a little, like a teaspoon of peppercorns, and just crush them, and throw those in there, and whatever else I decide to put in there. When I get my pineapples, and I don't throw away my pineapple skins, I usually will get the pineapples and do it fresh and throw them in there. But if I'm juicing and I have pineapple skins, I'll put them in a freezer bag and put them in the freezer so that when I do want to make that, all I have to do is grab that bag of pineapple skins and throw it in there. I try to do some kind of citrus. So I do the pineapple skin is as kind of like my citrusy flavor. Throw in a cinnamon stick or two, a little bit of nutmeg, a little bit of clove, not garlic clove, but clove, the spice. Not a lot. One day I opened it up and poured too much in there, and it just killed I couldn't taste any ginger or turmeric. It just was clove tea, which is really good. Cloves are antibacterial, antiviral. If you make a tea with just the cloves, you can use that as a mouthwash that'll help heal your mouth, any kind of inflammation. But just a little bit of clove in there if you want it in that ginger and turmeric tea. You can throw whatever you want in there. Sometimes I'll throw in some hibiscus flowers. Sometimes I'll throw in some elderberries in there. My daughter doesn't like elderberries, so I have to do it when it's just me. And yeah, just you can make it your own, but the base of the tea is the ginger and turmeric. And if you don't have fresh turmeric, you can use powdered turmeric, but I prefer fresh turmeric. And yeah, I'll share something else next round.
Excellent. You're not making tea, you're making a potion. Where do you get your turmeric, Sister Shimon?
I've been getting it from my local international grocery store, but sometimes Stop and Shop will have turmeric, which is giant in some places. If all else fails, I'll go to I think sometimes I'll have it at Aldi's, Trader Joe's might have it, and my last resort is Whole Foods because whole paycheck. But
Got you.
just and your Asian or Indian markets will usually have it.
Awesome. Awesome. One time my husband, we were at a feast meetup and the guys were playing football and he caught it and his finger went and it like swelled up huge. And someone told us to put turmeric on it and it like topically and it really helped reduce right away. It was pretty amazing. Plus prayer, we prayed too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Praise Yah.
ginger and turmeric are anti-inflammatory, but just like Sister Tatiana said, too much of a good thing could, you just have to be mindful. I didn't realize until later about the blood thinning capabilities, but you know what? That's good. That would be a good way to get our family members off of blood, the pharmaceutical blood thinners. I'm like, yeah, gave us blood thinners in our food.
Yes, that's a great point too. Tatiana typed all things in moderation. Yeah, it's excellent scripture. And Jessica wrote that she can't find fresh turmeric near her, so she orders it on Etsy from people's farms. And she also added grapefruit is good for blood thinning, and also the cinnamon is good for regulating blood pressure too. I think Sister Tatiana mentioned that.
If you notice, a lot of the medications, either blood pressure medications or I don't know if it's blood pressure and cholesterol medications, certain will tell you that you can't do grapefruit because of what it cancels it out. It cancels out the medication. So I was like, well, how about forget about the medication and just eat the grapefruit? Yeah. So
Yeah, I hear you. My father recently had a kidney transplant, and that's something that is on his no list is eating grapefruit. And I had similar thoughts, like that's because Abba's grapefruit is so, But yeah, so we have to use wisdom in all things. Yeah, I like Aaliyah wrote, I can't do a lot of grapefruit with my thyroid medication. So, well, thank you so much, Sister Shimon. And as I like to say to you, Shalom, Shamon. I guess I tickled the way her name rhymes. All right. So we're still in round 1 here. I think we're only going to get 2 rounds tonight. So we'll definitely have to do this again. Brother Victor, or is that Sister Sinja?
It is I.
It is she. Praise
Oh,
Yah.
good evening, everybody. Sis, do you have my slides or should I?
I do.
Okay.
I got you covered.
So we've been using essential oils for, oh gosh, about 9 or 10 years now. And so I'm sharing tonight a few things that we use oils for. Like here. So how the Ramirez's use YAH's essential oils that are in their wellness cabinet. So if we're focusing on one oil at the moment, I will focus on peppermint. And this is on the screen on the second bullet. We use it for many other things, but it helps for keeping you from vomiting if you feel that happening. Patchouli is excellent for that too, but peppermint for this evening's conversation. And last year I was blessed to share about essential oils at a webinar that we had, a wellness webinar that the Assembly or Yahudah Living hosted last year. And I had shared on some of these oils, in particular, peppermint. And the topic of my presentation was the essential oils in the Bible. So peppermint is a member of the mint family, and I'm going to reference 2 scriptures. They're not here on the slides, but 2 scriptures that talk about mint. And one of them is Matthew 23:23, which says here, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. So the point is that they're referencing mint as something used in biblical times. In that instance, well, for tithing. And then also it's referenced in Luke 11:42, basically saying the same thing. But woe unto you, Pharisees, for ye tithe mint and rue and all manners of herbs, and pass over judgment and the love of Elohim. So those are just 2 instances of mint referenced in scripture. And the benefits of peppermint, it's anti-inflammatory, it's also antiviral, it's neuroprotective, and it's anti-fatigue. So it's something that can be taken internally and also used topically. It is an antioxidant, and it relieves digestive problems. So that's like a go-to for us. We also, it's versatile in that we could also use it when we make our deodorant, and we can use it, as a tea. Heat your water and put a few drops in there for that. And we could also use it as part of a mouthwash if you want to switch up on an oil. So it's a very versatile oil, and has, many uses. I had also shared when I did that presentation last year, a recipe for making like a healthy chocolate using peppermint. And you can also put the peppermint when you make your brownies. So it's a very useful oil. And sometimes you need a breath freshener. You can just put a dab of it on the tip of your finger, put it on the roof of your mouth, and it'll help freshen up your breath. And it'll perk you up too. Sometimes I've used it. I'll put some drops in a spray bottle, preferably glass or stainless steel, because the oils can be, potent. You don't want them burning through the plastic and then having that on you. But for those of us who suffer from hot flashes, you squirt that on you, and it cools you down. Once it touches your skin, it helps. So you can use it as a spritz to calm down the hot flashes. So, yeah, so I'll share the other things, and I have 2 recipes up there. I can share that a little later.
Talking on mute. Awesome. Ava's peppermint plant. So thank you for sharing that. Lots of uses, and for some people it can help with headaches too. Not everyone, but I love to diffuse peppermint in the home. Thank you, Sister Sinja.
I think I want to answer Shimon. She says, use the mouthwash for hot flashes. No, you can put some drops when you make your mouthwash, and I'll share that recipe later. But you can put a few drops in a spray bottle, and you spray that on you to help with the hot flashes.
And Sister Teresa asks, are there certain ones that cannot be eaten?
Yes, there are. You'd have to check with the provider of your oils, because in instances the company will write on the bottle whether it's ingestible or not. Or you can also look that up online. There's so much information out there. You can just type that in in your search bar. But definitely peppermint is one that can be ingested.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. And we look forward to round 2. We'll definitely get up to round 2. I don't know. We're doing pretty good. It's 8:40. All right, Sister Maya, I see your hand. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom, sisters. So I actually found and bought today a Women's Encyclopedia of Natural Medicine. And I was speaking with the woman who was selling it to me, and she had mentioned a podcast. I'm sorry. Podcast by a woman who goes by the Wellness Mama. And so as Sister Tatiana was covering her tea that she makes, I had thought about elderberry syrup, and I went and looked it up, and I found a web page here from Wellness Mama. So I just felt like I need to go ahead and share this and go ahead and make some myself. I'll just read a little bit here, the important parts that I'm finding on the web page. The dried berries of the Sambucus nigra plant are naturally high in antioxidants that help with colds and flu, and you can use them in a variety of remedies, and her favorite is the simple elderberry syrup.
Excellent.
Do you want me to read here the benefits of elderberry? And
yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Elderberries naturally have vitamins A, B, and C and stimulate the immune system. Israeli researchers found elderberries pack a punch when it comes to colds and flu. Their complex sugars are clinically shown to help support the immune system. It can cut recovery time in half or better. And it goes into detail in this next little portion. Dr. Madeline, I have no idea how to say this last name. She's of Hadassah Hebrew University in Israel, and she found that elderberry disarms the enzyme viruses used to penetrate healthy cells in the lining of the nose and throat. And I heard throat was brought up with thyroid. So this is probably going to, hopefully be helpful. I'm sorry, baby is sleepy, so I'm trying to speed this up, and he's wanting attention. Taken before infection, it prevents infection. Taken after infection, it prevents spread of the virus through the respiratory tract. And then, so the syrup recipe is in the webpage that I shared there in the chat. And I definitely need to go ahead and put this on my to-do list. We can have them on hand.
All right. Praise Yah. And we'll share that same link in the live stream as well. But yeah, elderberry, that is an excellent thing to have in your wellness cabinet for sure. And funny true story. I actually ordered a branch, a elderberry branch off Amazon, and you have to, it's like it came like a stick. And I was like, what is this a stick? Like, what is this stick? But you soak it in the water and it started growing, the leaves started sprouting. I was a bad plant mama and I neglected it. So it didn't turn into the elderberry, but you can grow them. And I think even Shimon put in the chat, in many states, you can grow them. And listen, if you've got even a small backyard or the vertical garden or whatever you have, a balcony, experiment growing things, berries, especially elderberries, because they're very medicinal. And that's a great berry to have. So thank you. So we learned about peppermint oil.
And elderberries taste really good too.
Oh yeah, that's true too. We learned about tea tree oil. We learned about the tea, the charcoal, the cayenne pepper. So these are all things that are great to have in our wellness cabinet. So if you're tuning in late, we're just knowledge sharing. What's in your wellness cabinet? What's your go-to when your family isn't feeling well or you're not feeling well, that you could share with others that they may not know about, that could help them? And I see Sister Kayla in the room. Maybe she'll share about clove oil, or what's the other one? Oregano oil. So is there any other hands for round one here? All right.
Hey, I can't find the button for my hand raised, but yeah, if you I can go ahead and share if you're ready.
Yes, thank you.
So clove oil actually is very helpful for a lot of things, but we use it a lot for like pain relief. So for either teething, for like babies, or adults if you have tooth pain, or even it's good as a muscle relaxer. So you always, of course, have to have a base. And if you're going to use it for babies teething, you have to dilute it heavily, either in a coconut oil or even a liquid like a water if you need, and just put like a little drop on your finger. And I don't there's it's up for discussion whether babies under 3 months can use it, but if you heavily dilute it, you can just stick your finger like right in it and touch it to their gums, and it helps a lot. But you have to like try it to yours first, because there's a burn to it if it's too strong. But for muscle relief, you can use it in any carrier oil, and that with rosemary and lavender, and just rub it all over the spot that, hey guys, hang on. Just rub it all over the spot like that you need to massage in, or that you have a tight muscle or whatever, and it will help a lot. It gives like an icy hot feeling. I forget what other one you brought up, Sister June. Sorry, I totally forgot about this. I got on this last minute. We've been very busy. The other thing that we keep in our cabinet at all times is fermented garlic and honey. So if I start getting low, especially close to like flu season, or when my kids were going to school at the start of the school year and everything, you just fill a jar with a bunch of garlic and cover it with honey, preferably local honey, just because there's other properties that help with the local allergens. But if nothing else, just any honey, fill it, seal it up, put it upside down so that the air and everything will rise to the top, and then put it in a dark, like cool place and let it sit for usually about 6 weeks. But you'll see the bubbles start to come up in the jar and like fill all through like around the garlic, and you'll know that it's fermented then. And then we even keep it tipped upside down and just in our medicine jar after that, or our medicine cabinet. And anytime that we've been exposed to anything, or that we start to get any type of illness at all, we take that and soursop sometimes, soursop bitters, but usually just the garlic and honey, and it gets rid of it. We always have less days and less intensity than anybody else around us, and praise Yah for that. And if my little guy gets like, we've been exposed to hand, foot, mouth, and Malachi is nursing, so I just load up on the garlic and honey for myself, and I eat the actual like cloves of garlic from it. And has scooted by the hand, foot, mouth with like a couple little bumps, a little irritability, and that's it. And I mean, most moms know that hand, foot, mouth is horrendous. So yeah, it really works. Oh, and breast milk. If you have access to breast milk, it cures everything. You can put it in their eyes, you can put it in their ears. Give any age, especially like if you have like toddlers or even school age kids or whatever, give it to them in a little shot, like a little shot size, like in like a little teaspoon cup or something, you know, they would put medicine in or something that size a couple times a day. And that also clears anything up. Okay, that's all.
That's all. Just all these wonderful remedies that Yah put here naturally or in us with the breast milk.
Praise Yah.
Awesome. You know, and it's interesting you mentioned hand foot disease, because a sister in my assembly, she one of her grandchildren was dealing with that. So yeah, that's great to know. And it kind of tastes like candy when okay, maybe I'm weird, but the garlic and the honey, once it ferments, like it almost tastes like candy to me.
No, we love it. Like my boys, they always like it.
Awesome. Yeah, and they'll grow up to know these remedies. So it's really great to teach these things to our children young. And yeah, I love the clove oil for the tooth. That is like can instantly stop a toothache. You don't have to go pay emergency dentist emergency dental, visit. It can, and these are things Abba put here for us. So great shares. Those are definitely things to have in your wellness cabinet, in your apothecary. And I did want to read a comment in the chat just as a disclaimer about the elderberries. So someone asked, it's not good to eat them raw. So make sure you always do your research with everything you're hearing here tonight. I take elderberry syrup, but that's not raw berries. So yeah, so make sure you study everything before you try it yourself or give it to your children. So praise Yah. All right. So Shimon, I think that's a sign that we're going to move into round 2. Do you have a second thing to share? Because if so, I want to share one thing before we go to round 2. Okay, I got a thumbs up. All right, so let me share really, really quick. I wasn't going to share, but you guys have excited me. All right, so I'm going to share black seed oil. So this is a kind that my family gets. It's cold pressed. I don't know if you can see the bottle well. So that's one kind we get. And I found the other kind that we also get. Let me share my screen. I don't have a presentation, but I Googled some black seed oil. So this is the other one that we use, and we get them on Amazon, but I'm sure they would be available at different stores and whatnot. And you just have to take like 1 teaspoon a day, and it I put it in my tea, or sometimes I'll try to slip it into my husband's coffee, but he normally can tell. And I like that expression you told me, Jessica, that it helps with everything but death. Is that the expression? Yeah. So
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
gonna.
Sister Frances told me when she gave me a bottle of it.
Okay, that is really funny. So I'm just gonna share a couple of things I found online. So weight loss, hair health, inflammation, blood sugar. These are things that it may help with. Also promotes hair growth, scalp health, premature graying. I done missed that boat. Moisturizes dry skin, restricts hair fall, and reverses hair damage. I'm not familiar with this brand on the screen here, but it was one of the memes that came up. And some other things, candida, again, hair loss, blood pressure, asthma, digestive issues. So it's good at boosting your immune system. So, and yeah, so maybe when I have time in the future, I could share more about where it comes from and all that kind of thing. But it says it's 100 Nigella sativa and it's wild harvested. So all right, so that's all I wanted to share. I recommend black seed oil to add it to your wellness cabinet.
I'm just show and telling my big bottle just came in Amazon today. Big, huge, bigger than my head.
Now that is some black seed oil. You're gonna be set for a long time. The saying about black seed was actually in the Quran. Really? Okay, I need to see a verse on that one.
Yeah, I guess I won't be saying that anymore.
Never heard of that. Okay, thank you, Aaliyah. All right, so we're moving on to, is everyone ready for round two? I think we're gonna cap it after round two. And so think about the second thing you want to share. And if you had a third or fourth one, we'll do this again, is what I'm saying. All right. So I'm officially starting round two. Think about you hear a bell and a timer. But you guys have been doing good on time. And I think this is going well. All right, Sister Shimon, take it away.
I'm gonna show my face. So just to follow up with Sister Kayla, because I was going to share basically something similar. I haven't done it with just the garlic and the honey, which is cool because then it's like you're taking it as a syrup. But my mother-in-law, when I first, well, probably even before I moved to Oklahoma, you have your quart size, or yeah, 32-ounce jars of honey that you buy. And what she would always have, and I don't know how long she had been doing it, I guess you could call it a tonic. So half of it is apple cider vinegar and half of it is honey, and preferably local honey. And she would say like 10 cloves of garlic. I was like, you can never have too much garlic. So I probably put probably like a half the bulb in there. And she would just like cut it in big chunks, but I was like, I'm cutting it, as thin as I can without it being too thin. And as I started going in, you would take like a medicine cup, get like one of the medicine cups from a, old medicine bottle, or even a shot glass. And she was just using like regular Heinz apple cider vinegar, and she did use the local honey. And once I learned about, you know unrefined apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, then that's what I started using. So, you put as much garlic as you want in there. I'd slice it, in 1/8 quarter-inch slices, however much you want to put in there. And then fill it up halfway with your apple cider vinegar. And I'm like, I want all the benefits in there. So I would like do that and let it sit for a day or two. so that the vinegar could draw out all the goodness from the garlic before I put the honey in there. And then, fill it up the rest of the way with the honey and shake it up, make sure it's all well mixed. And, you can take it right away. Of course, it'll be raw. But, as soon as you feel that little tickle, I'm like, darn, I wish I had some. You would just take a, medicine cup full or a shot glass full, and it literally will, like, especially if you catch it when you just feel that little tickle, it doesn't go any further. But if you miss that mark, it definitely helps to cut down on it. And once you've had it where it's fermented and everything, when you get to where you have about that much left in the bottom of the jar, then you just make another batch. And now that you have that strong fermented, kind of like with your sourdough, what you keep a little bit of the sourdough to seed your next sourdough batch, that becomes your seed. So it doesn't take as long for that whole batch to ferment because you already have all the good stuff in that. My other recommendation is, I don't remember if I was doing it before COVID. I probably did. But, if you have Sam's Club membership or Costco or any one of those memberships, I would always, get myself the alcohol. They come in 2 batches and your peroxide, and keep that on hand. I don't know when I don't know if I'm considered a germaphobe, but I keep peroxide. I and because if when you get sick, you're supposed to replace your toothbrushes, after when you start feeling better. But I just, whenever I brush my teeth, I rinse my toothbrush off, and then I pour peroxide over my toothbrush. And I also have a tongue scraper. I'll wash my tongue scraper and pour my peroxide over that. I even do it over my washcloths. Don't judge me. um, but and the other thing is witch hazel. Um, when you try to buy it in the regular store, it's kind of expensive, but if you get the Amazon Basics, it's the least expensive that I found as far as witch hazel. And that helps whether you make it cold or not. If you have bruises, just put witch hazel on a cotton ball and put it on whatever bruise, and your bruise will heal very quickly. But even especially if you keep it cold, like keep a bottle in the refrigerator, it goes away even faster. No, that's all.
All right. I told you were doing potions, Sister Shimon. um, you know, Ironically, I make something very similar for my husband. Whenever he's feeling like something's about to come on, he actually requests me to make him his potion. And yeah, I put apple cider vinegar, a little bit of garlic, the honey. Can't remember offhand everything I put in there. And that apple cider vinegar, sometimes it's good just to spike whatever you're drinking once or twice a week, just to help keep your body more alkaline, I think is the right word. Or freshly squeezed lemon juice. You could easily put some of that in your tea. And there's so many kinds of teas out there that you could just get in the habit of drinking. I think what people in England, like, they drink a lot of tea, but I think theirs is more like English tea, or but I mean like medicinal tea, like the ginger turmeric tea, like the tea Tatiana mentioned. Just, become a tea collector. You might have hibiscus one night, chamomile the next, turmeric the next, ginger the next, and you can mix different ones. And that way you're getting herbs in your system that are medicinal. All right. Thank you, Shimon. That witch hazel. That was it. I have to look more into the witch hazel. I see that a lot with the alcohol and the peroxide. All right. Sister Sinja, take it away.
First, I want to give a shout out to my sister Trina, who accepted my invitation to come today. I'm glad you're on, sis, and I hope you're getting some good info.
Hi, Trina.
All right, I'd like to share the rest of my slides, and this should be quick. All right. We can go back to the previous slide, sis. Actually, the first slide, yes. Okay, so I just want real quick to share other things that we use oils for. So the tea tree oil, which is also called melaleuca, we use when we have earaches. It's not that often, but they do happen to me. So what I do is I take a cotton ball and I put, and I'm speaking for adults, adult level usage. So for earache, I would take a cotton ball and put 2 to 3 drops and just insert it, don't shove it into your ear, but just place it inside your ear. And it does work. It gives me relief. And melaleuca has antimicrobial, components. It's also good for acne treatment. It soothes irritated skin, and it can be used for a household cleaner. And as I mentioned earlier, we also use patchouli and peppermint. If I feel like myself, especially sometimes I've gotten really strong digestive pain, several symptoms, one right after the other, vomiting being one of them. So the patchouli, all I have to do is take a whiff and, and it's gone. So they're potent. 2 recipes I have here real quick for deodorant. We no longer use the commercial bought ever since we started learning about the essential oils, which has been about, what did I say, about 9 or 10 years now. And because I didn't realize that there's a lot of toxic ingredients in those commercial deodorants, aluminum being one of them, and that being under your armpit, which is close to lymph nodes. So here's a recipe that I've made. So I take half a cup of baking soda, half a cup of cornstarch, half a cup of pure organic virgin coconut oil, and 20 drops of essential oil of choice. And some oils that are good for that are, again, the tea tree oil, bergamot, or lavender, or the patchouli, lemon, or peppermint. So it works well. Sometimes I've put it, when I make it, it solidifies. So I can just spread it on my armpit. Or I've saved from when I used to buy commercial deodorants, saved the little container that they come in that push up and reuse those. So, it's more cost effective because the oils take a little bit, goes a long way. So they're long lasting. They have long shelf life. They all don't have the same shelf life, but they do have a long shelf life. We're talking about, a couple of years. For example, peppermint has 4 to 5 years. This is off of healthline.com. 4 to 5 years of shelf life, rather. Lavender has 3 to 4 years, and the same, I think it was with the lemon. My next recipe that I'm sharing is for mouthwash. We make our own. And so I take 1 cup, or Victor takes 1 cup of water, 20 drops of essential oil, and, it'd be a blend of not 20 drops of each, but a total 20 drops. And he uses cinnamon, clove, wintergreen, and myrrh. Sometimes switches up the myrrh with tea tree oil. Any other?
And
is that it? Not frankincense, right? Sometimes frankincense. So those are 2 recipes that just off the top of our most used items. As far as cinnamon was also used a lot in biblical times, and it's good for circulatory health, immunity, metabolic health. It's antimicrobial, and it's good for dental health. And we talked about clove. Do I have clove down here? I don't have the medical benefits for that. And let's see what other one I can share about myrrh. Myrrh is good for oral hygiene. It's healing to the skin for hemorrhoids. It's like a liquid Band-Aid, and they used it in biblical times for embalming. So just a little bit of share on that. Okay, sis, if you can take me to the next slide. As Sister June was sharing earlier, we need to be careful of what we use, where we get our oils from. And she was so awesome in putting together this guide that you can find at yahudahliving.com/wellness. And it was listed as a resource in the wellness webinar that was done back on December 18th. If you scroll down to that date, you'll see where it says resources and you'll find this guide. So it's a practical guide to discovering trusted high quality essential oils. And it's helping us make informed choices. So essential oils are a beautiful part of Yahuwah's creation, derived from plants given to us for nourishment, healing, and restoration. And we read in Genesis 1:29, and Elohim said, "See, I have given you every plant that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it is for food." So the guide is created, or was created, as a follow-up to that wellness webinar that I mentioned, where the group discussed the benefits of essential oils and how they can support the set-apart walk. And naturally, attendees wanted to know where to purchase the high-quality oils and where this resource comes. And that's where this resource comes in. So if you go to the that site on the internet, you will see it's a well thought out and pretty comprehensive guide. So my next slide will be my last one. And so part of the guide, I think it's maybe page 3, lists these top quality essential oils that have been vetted and are a good source for you to get your oils. These are just suggestions. So it's Plant Therapy is one company, and it gives you the price range, their method of testing, whether they're involved in a multi-level marketing system, whether they're faith-based or not, and a brief description of the company. So they have Plant Therapy, Eden's Garden, and Rocky Mountain Oils. So yeah, we need to know where we get our stuff from, because Walmart can sell stuff, and I have nothing against Walmart, but just because it says 100% doesn't mean it's 100%, because the FDA, says that if it has X percent of the actual essential oil, you can still put 100%. And so that's kind of deceptive. So, and that is it for my share tonight.
All right. Yasim, thank you so much for mentioning that guide. Yeah, we had fun looking at that in a previous webinar, like Sinja said, and it's a free ebook, so anyone is able to grab it from the website, and hopefully it'll be a good resource. And I love the recipes you gave. Like Tatiana said, who needs Pepto-Bismol? You can make your own deodorant, your own mouthwash with things that are just organic and natural for us, and it's better for us. It's like we're returning to the basics, returning to the natural path. Now that we see, like, we were like speeding up and all these technologies and chemicals, but now we're realizing there was more wisdom in the way things were done before. So praise Yah that our families are learning this, and hopefully we can leave a legacy with those who come behind us. All right, Sister Jessica. Thank you, Sister Sinja.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
So much good information tonight. And my second one is actually one that was touched on by Sister Deanna, but there's a little more information I have on it to share. So I'm going to do cayenne pepper for my second one. And let's see here. Do you want to put my slides up, or do you want me to put them up?
Could you do it this time?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I got them right here. Yep. Let me here I had the wellness webinar up there. Let me get to the right one. All right. Cayenne pepper. Like Sister Deanna said, it's a very amazing supplement. And the reason I put the two that I thought would be the most possibly life-saving, I wanted to get to first. I thought, since we're not going to get to round 3, just to give you a hint, the thing I promised about the bad breath was you can just put whole cloves directly in your mouth and chew on them, and it'll take your bad breath away. Just put the clove itself in there and chew on it. Anyways, the main thing, kind of like what Sister Deanna said about her cut on her knee, is that cayenne pepper will actually stop bleeding. In that book I was mentioning, like there's some stories about people, like this one, it was like there's this mom, she was at home alone with 5 kids, and she dropped a pickle jar and gashed her foot open, and she called, she's like just a natural, like a natural herbal type doctor, and like the community calls her and called her, and it's like, oh no, what do I do? I can't go anywhere. And so she said, just put some cayenne pepper in it. And so yeah, she just put, and there's a few stories in there about it, but just pack the cayenne pepper on the wound that's bleeding, and just hold it really tight and pray. And that'll stop the bleeding. And then, and if it's still coming out after holding it for a few minutes, put more on there, because it'll get wet, with the blood. And put more on there and just keep doing that, and it'll stop the bleeding. And like Sister Deanna says, it heals it. It'll heal it fast, because what the cayenne pepper does is it increases the circulation to that area, so that it gets the blood and all the all the things in your blood that cause the blood to congeal, or I don't know the word off the top of my head, but the coagulates and the white blood cells rush to that area because you put that pepper on there, and it just speeds it up to that area. And you can even leave it on there and bandage it until the next day. You can rinse it off, and then at which point, if it was me, I would follow up with some charcoal, because that will help prevent any infection. But I wish I'd known that tip when I cut with the mandolin, cut the tip of my thumb off. That one was just pressure and prayer, because I grabbed it, I squeezed it, I held my hand up like this, and I prayed for like an hour straight. And I didn't have to go, and it actually grew back, which I'm surprised it did that. Praise Yah. Anyways, I want to share that one first, because I thought that was a very interesting one. I haven't had a chance to work that in practice, but it's funny, because I was telling Sister June the reason I chose cayenne pepper for this was because I actually had a dream that my husband cut himself, and I suggested this to him because I had known this fact. I just haven't had to put it in practice yet. So I'm like, I think I'm gonna do that in my wellness webinar, just to spread that little tidbit of knowledge, just in case anybody didn't know. And it will sting a little bit, like Sister Deanna said, but it doesn't it's not as bad as you would think it would be, from what I've heard. It just stings a little bit, but it's worth it if it keeps you from having to go get stitches. All right. And I'm just going to take a screenshot of these. I just want to go through these little recipes that I put up there. Take a screenshot, or if you're on a computer, what I did is I just took a picture of it with the slide with my phone real quick, and I can jot it down later. So that's an idea too. If you want to go to the next, I'm doing it. All right, so this is the fire water. I know we had a lot of stuff about cold and flu, and as you see in there, apple cider vinegar is one of the ingredients in there. So if you want to take a quick screenshot of that, it's just a kind of a breakdown of this little elixir that helps with cold and flu. Just leave it for another second, and then we'll go to the next one. All right, this one, I didn't know this one, and that's why I started putting cayenne in my, like I was said in chat, I have my good tea that tastes good, that I enjoy, and then I have my gross tea that I have to cough down because it's disgusting. In my gross tea is where I put my cayenne, because I just gulp that down, and then I drink my sweet tea because it is a little spicy with the cayenne pepper in there. But because I stopped drinking coffee, so it's a little pick me up in the morning. So I drink that in my gross tea. But this is just a little. If you want to take a screenshot of that, I thought that was very interesting. And also, I just recently learned another reason I started taking it too is it ups your red blood cell count, because I'm always fighting with that myself with anemia and whatnot, so that's a good thing. And the blackstrap molasses that I put in my gross tea, because that has a lot of iron in it. Anyways, All right. And then this one, I forgot. I meant to remind myself to take it off there, but stop bleeding. So, and then this, if you just wanted, I just found this of some other stuff that I didn't know that I don't know how, like what you would take it and for that, but I saw that and I thought that was interesting because that's stuff I didn't know it would help. So I'm gonna skip past there if anybody wants to take a picture of that. Sorry, I'm trying to go through fast. This, I'm not going to read all this, but the main thing I'm going to read, because this is the part that could save a life, is that if you heart attack, stroke, obviously call 911. That's not something you want to mess around with. But if you stir a half to 1 teaspoon of water of cayenne in warm water and drink it, it helps. I can't remember the science of why it does off something, but it's saved lives. So that's a really important thing. That's why I went, because that's something that we may encounter at some time. So I usually always try to keep cayenne pepper in my car. I actually have a bottle in my car, but and in my medicine cabinet or in my kitchen. Obviously, I don't keep it in my medicine cabinet. I keep that in my kitchen But in shock, it can actually help people in shock. And a note on there is that if they're unconscious, make sure you just rub the cayenne either on their gums, or if you have a tincture pre-made, just drop it on their tongue. Obviously you don't want it to go down the wrong, you don't want them to aspirate if they're unconscious, but that'll help do what it needs to do. But all this other stuff on here I was pretty amazed by that too. I like the tip about the cold hands and feet of sprinkling the cayenne in the socks, because that's what I always battle with. Even when I don't go south for the winter, my feet and hands get cold. So that was if you guys want to take a picture of that one, there's just so much good information. And all this information is in this book that I'm going to show you. I'm going to skip to the last slide because I'm going to skip over my last presentation. I'll save that for next time. But this one here, this book here is amazing. I mean, it's great. It's saved me many a time, like trips, because if you're close to me and you told me about a problem you have, there's a good chance that you got a couple pictures from this book, and because I'm always sharing this book with people because it's amazing. I don't have the pediatrician one and the pharmacy one yet. Those are on my list to get next because at first I thought the pediatrician was only for like babies, but then I was looking into it more when I was sharing it with a friend, and it is actually for other older kids too. So I'm like, I should get that, and plus it'll give me some good information to share with people. But yeah, so those two are soon to come to my collection, but the Be Your Own Doctor 1 and 2 are indispensable as far as I'm concerned. And if you know me, I don't like to have a lot of tangible things because I travel a lot. So those are always with me. But all right, let me get out of here. Yeah, and I skipped over the clove, but the clove ones wasn't very long, but yeah, it just kind of goes over some of the things you guys mentioned and my testimony about how I use that, but we can go save that one for next time. Let me stop share.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, so we got two things of the cayenne pepper, but I like how it was shared kind of differently, different use cases. And I'm just reminded now, my family, we used to do this thing annually when we need to start doing it again, where I'm sure you heard of, like, you do the lemonade or juice from a lemon, I should say, and the cayenne pepper and the grade B maple syrup, which they don't sell grade B anymore for whatever reason. And it's a detox, and we would consume that quote unquote lemonade. You mix it all together for 2 weeks, and it helps detox the body. And I forget what the cayenne pepper does, but it was an important part of that potion or that detoxer. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing all those uses of, and again, I love how we can carry it in those capsules. I think that's a great idea, and to take it regularly, because wow, if it's helpful with heart attacks or strokes, why not take it as part of the maintenance and not wait until there's an emergency, right? So yeah, and so things like this are great reminders for sure. All right, so I think we have only one more hand for round two. If you would like to share in round two, go ahead and raise your hand now. But if not, we will close out, which is fine. And we'll do 2 more rounds next time. All right, Sister Kayla, shalom again.
Shalom. So I posted that like recipe for the flu bomb in the comments, and then there's a question about it. And so I just wanted to bring up onion. Onion is a drawer, and so it pulls out like infection or extra fluid or anything that isn't being used from wherever you put it. So um I sorry. So if our kids have like a cough, or if it sounds like there's fluid in their lungs in any way, I will just basically slice it and wrap their chest, put it on their chest at night like a poultice. And when they wake up, one, it helps them sleep, but two, when they wake up, most of the time it's gone. And if I don't catch it in time, then doing it a couple nights in a row and it clears them up. Or if they're young, like anytime they're napping, anything like that. And then also on their feet, I always put onions on the bottoms of their feet because we lose a lot of toxins and stuff easier through our feet. And so if you put it on their feet, it helps pull it. And it doesn't have to be congestion. It can be any type of bodily infection, and it'll start to pull it out. So if you're dealing with, again, like hand, foot, mouth, or a sinus infection, or just a cold, even when we had COVID, anything like that, put it on the bottom of the feet. And that isn't just for symptoms, that actually helps remove whatever it is that you're dealing with. If you put it on your chest, it helps break up what's in your lungs. So it's more of a symptom. It solves the symptoms, but it's like taking a decongestant. Additionally, for kids, if they get ear infections, you can steam an onion, squeeze it out I put it on like a cold spoon. I squeeze the juice of it into a cold spoon, and that cools it. Make sure it's cool enough, touch it with your finger. And then while it's still kind of warm, pour it directly into their ear. And then I wrap their ear with the steamed onion right on it. And it allows them to sleep. It helps the pain to reduce so they can sleep, and it clears out the infection. I have not tried that under a year and a half because we've used breast milk for that time. So I don't know about that, but as early as a year and a half, I was using onions on their ears, and it always solved the ear infection. We never had to go in and get antibiotics or anything. So also about onions as a jar, don't put it in plastic or like aluminum foil, because it pulls whatever it's into the onion itself. So if you're saving it, only save it in glass, or something that you don't have to worry about ingesting whatever's in it, because it 100% pulls the plastic and the aluminum into it. So then you'd be cooking it and eating it. Okay, that's all.
Wow, a lot of nuggets there. I did not know that about the plastic and aluminum. We don't really, well, the plastic. So yeah, so definitely want to store those in jars, because I think like sometimes I'm doing food prep and I cut up a bunch of onions and I'll put them in those little Chinese food soup container looking things. So yeah, I'm gonna switch to putting them in jars after hearing you say that. And while about the ear infection, so we've heard multiple ways tonight to conquer ear infections, so you don't have to, spend money going to the doctor, waiting on the, and what they give. You can try these remedies at home, the breast milk, or after a certain age, the onion juice, or like Sinja said, with the tea tree oil. So lots of and I like how the things Abba put here on the earth, there's like a variety of different things that help with the same thing. So that's really awesome too. Thank you, Sister Kayla. We hope you come back to the next one. And I tried to paste I pasted the top part of her flu bomb for the decongestant in the live chat. And I was trying to fit the onions on your chest. Oh, I do have a question about the onions. Because I've frequently heard that about putting them on the feet and the chest. So is it just like a straight onion slice that you're using, like just I know it sounds like a silly question, but
Yep, I just slice the end off, slice a little chunk, slice a little chunk of the onion, and then the difficulty is like getting it to stay. So if you have like a good, you can get it from like Walgreens or whatever, the poultice like stickies where you like sticks around it and hold it. Usually we just find something to like tie it with to hold it on. So that's kind of an issue. Or sometimes I'll put like a tight like tank top on them, like for kids. Like most of the stuff that I have is for like, you know, the kids, but however you can wrap it on. But yeah, it's just a slice from a raw onion and put it on there. The only time that I steam it is if it's going to be used for ear infection.
okay. And for the feet, could socks work to keep it anchored?
Yes. Yes, I did that the first time with just socks. We still do sometimes, but then the whole bed ends up smelling like onion. So if you can wrap it in something plastic, you know, maybe like sometimes we'll put like a bag, like a plastic bag, and then put the socks over it. But it does like it's easy enough to just put the socks over top of it. I usually wait till they're in bed all the way if it's for kids because it feels horrible to walk on, and so they complain. Um, the other thing is even with a shower the next day, like it's in their body. So if you're giving them the garlic and the honey and you're putting the onions on their feet, my kids, it would get rid of the symptoms. They'd feel fine. So I'd send them to school the next day. And by the time I picked them up, they'd be smelling so much like garlic and onions. I felt so bad. So just remember that you will smell like that for the next like 24 hours.
Come out of your pores. All right. But they can do the clove for the breath. No. All right. Well,
I don't think that will help with the body odor, though.
right.
Unless you take a clove bath, maybe. So real quick, I just wanted to mention plastic wrap. Plastic wrap works great on the outside. Like, I know she said not to use plastic with onions, but I forgot to mention that with my charcoal, that's what I do when I go to bed, because I have a big patch of rash on my leg that I've been putting the charcoal on, and I'll put the poultice on, and then I'll wrap in plastic wrap so I don't get charcoal all over my bed. But it's also really good because I remember at Pesach, everybody was looking for plastic wrap because for Sister Kator's baby, because for her onion poultice, they were, and nobody had plastic wrap. So now I know I'm always going to bring plastic wrap.
Yes. Yeah. So that's something to consider for your wellness cabinet, things that help you apply the natural things. So, because, just to make it more smoother when you go to use these things. So, well, we're going to put a bookmark or cap on it here. And, praise Yah, because I didn't feel, I almost was going to postpone this or change the date because I didn't feel ready. But I think this was very informative and really good. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up at this time. So as was mentioned, I think Tatiana put it in the chats. This is live stream, so you can always check out the replay. And we'll try to email it to those who are registered, because sometimes people register but they can't make it. So we'll try to make sure that they get that link, and then we'll also announce when the next one will be. I think we're doing another survival. My husband's gonna do another survival skills one upcoming in a couple of weeks. But yeah, and we hope to have even more participation next time. So this was really great. And that's it. I would like to see if let's see who we have here in the on with us. Sister Alaya, would you be okay closing us out in prayer tonight? Kind of putting you
I'm not
on
the
spot.
greatest at praying. Just letting you know.
Say again.
I can, but I'm not the greatest with my words, and I'm not the greatest at praying. I mean, I can, but I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time.
Well, we're just talking to Abba, thanking him for the night and just acknowledging him. We like to acknowledge his presence and the things that he's made for us. So, yeah, sis, you got this.
Okay, I'm nervous. Okay, Abba Yahuwah, I just want to thank you so much for this awesome gathering tonight and for the learning opportunities. I mean, I personally have learned so much that some things I've never heard of, Father, and you've made all these natural and amazing remedies for all of us to heal from different ailments. And may you Baruch everybody who was on this live call tonight, and Sister June especially for coordinating all this, because I know it takes a lot of work for her to do this and the assembly, and plus she's a wife and a mother, and may you bless her immensely and bless everybody here immensely and heal them from whatever ailments they're going through, whether it's physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, Father. Um, just thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for everything, Father, and just bless us and heal us, and just let us know, Father, if we're sinning, if we're needing to repent of something, Father, just make it known to all of us on this call. And we just thank you so much for this opportunity, Father, in Yahshua's name. Amen.
Amen.
Beautiful prayer.
Amen.
Beautiful.
Amazing prayer.
Yes.
Let it be. So
That was a perfect prayer, sister. Thank you.
that was beautiful.
Praise Yah. Well, that concludes our wellness webinar. I'm going to end with a song. You can leave now or leave after the song. This is a fun song created. We had a sister with a hard to say name in our assembly, and so I just thought it would be fun to end on this note. And Layla Tov, and good night to everyone, and much shalom.
Oh, can you say her name? Olufunmilayo. 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 What does it mean? Yahuwah gives me joy. Say it again. Yahuwah gives me joy. It's a beautiful Yoruba name from Nigeria. She doesn't use a nickname because her name declares Yahuwah gives me joy. Let's lift our voices and shout with joy. Olufunmilayo. Yahuwah gives me joy. Olufunmilayo. Yahuwah gives me joy. She closes her business on Shabbat day, honors Yah's appointed ways, still her baskets overflow. Yahuwah blesses Olufunmilayo. Olufunmilayo. Yahuwah gives me joy. Olufunmilayo. Yahuwah gives me joy. When we call her name, we all declare, Yahuwah gives me joy everywhere. Inolorun ọba jìgà. Inolorun ọba jìgà. Inolorun ọba jìgà. Inolorun ọba jìgà. Yahuwah gives me